Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. The campaign is Spawn of Azathoth. It was written by Doc Herbert, and our game master is John Hook. This is episode 5. A recap will be given by Josh Harwood as his character, Professor Zebedee Cordova. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Josh?
Thank you, Tom. Okay. Let's get to it. Right, I need to write this. I need to get it to the editor in time. Okay. To my readers. Let's get this straight. I haven't covered this yet. I'm surprised I haven't covered this mythological creature before. Because if they don't exist, surely. I better cut that out. I better not write that in. Yeah, there we go. So the ghoul. It's an interesting. Some people see them as just cannibals, real people who are cannibals. Some see them as these horrid creatures that stalk graveyards and various other things. But what if I was to tell you a tale of a man who is in fact one of these creatures, but runs basically a coffin shop. He is an undertaker, someone like that. Imagine. It'd be weird, wouldn't it? Because they'd be able to eat all the flesh they want. No one would be none the wiser. And that just means ghouls could be everywhere. These creatures could be everywhere and anywhere. They could work in a meat packing factory. They could work anywhere. It's fascinating. These creatures barely ever spoken about, but they could be real. And maybe they are. Who knows? They could be anywhere. They could be. That's why if an undertaker goes to you, oh, sorry, I cremated your daughter early. I'm running on a schedule. Yeah. Maybe they just ate the body. Who knows? But ghouls are fascinating. Maybe I should do more research, and you'll get a more in-depth article in the next paper. Anyway, enough about that. I'll move on and edit that later. So personal notes. So note to self. I heard via Frederick, or whatever, that Silas is possibly dead. And we know that he has a farm or something like that, and I would definitely like to see into that, especially because we now know that he was looking into cannibals, and maybe that links to the funeral home director, and there's possibility, thanks to Zeno, that he is a ghoul or whatever. There's got to be a connection there. We'll find it. And Myron said something interesting as well about Emmett, about he was being a little bit weird about previous things. It's a little bit too much for me. And then even more personal note to myself. Don't try to charm Engelhardt's secretary ever again. It will not work. Guess that's where I leave it. Oh, wait. Cuthbert? Oh, Cuthbert, I'll be there in a second.
Very good. Fantastic. Gee whiz, I hope I was on the entire time. Excellent recap. Thank you. Okay. So when we last left off, you guys received a phone call. And in that call, Bennings said that he had just heard from some sources that Silas Patterson is dead. He's being reported dead. It is past dinner time on Friday, May 6th, 1927, when you guys receive this information.
Bennings, you say that he's dead. You presume dead or confirmed? How credible are these sources of yours?
I just heard that I have a guy. I have a guy in the police station, and he just let me know that they found his car by the coast, by the parked near the water, with a note kind of held onto the windshield.
Apparently
apparently it's suicide.
Do you know what it says, or did your source not tell you that?
Yeah, I don't know. He just said that they found a note, and that it looks like he drove down to the coast and committed suicide in a really remote area. He just kind of went and pulled over. There was some, a beachhead. They found the car and the note near the beach. My understanding is that they're towing the vehicle in now. But since it's something that you were asking me to look into, I thought I had to give you a call.
No, I greatly appreciate it. I'll have to. If you hear about any discovery of his body before the paper is printed, please let me know.
You got it.
Thanks, Bennings.
So Long, just to clarify, Long is the only one who received that information at his hotel room in the Biltmore. So Long, camera's on you. What do you do?
Well, I've been given the home phone number of Myron. I know we're going to meet in his front room tomorrow, but I'm going to give him a call ahead of time. You're muted.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, Myron, this is Frederick. I just just barely received a call from my old friend of mine who's a private detective, and he said that the police have found Silas's car abandoned with a suicide note. They think he's dead.
Well, there's someone we won't be getting to interview, I guess. Maybe that explains why he was driving away from his country home. That was the last rumor we had, right?
Yeah, he headed south out of Providence, but apparently he went to the coast and possibly threw himself in the ocean.
Well, we'll certainly want to get a good look at that note. Your man was following him. Was he sure that Bennings was alone in his car and Patterson was alone in his car?
Yeah, he said that he was just left alone with not much with him.
Right. He said he was traveling light. That's right. Yeah. So it doesn't seem like coercion.
Although I do find it odd that he brought anything with him.
Right. Well, to me, this puts a different, well, God, I wonder. I was going to say the question of investigating maybe surreptitiously his country house, maybe that needs to happen before the police start kicking around.
Yeah, wait.
All right, let's call the others. I think we need to at least make a determination tonight about how to proceed, because he was our best link.
Yeah, I'll get in contact with Cuthbert, and I think he can contact the others.
Yeah, I have information for Saladin, and I know you'd rather not call him, so I'll take care of that one.
All right, Matt, much appreciated.
All right, let's speak soon.
Yep.
I guess there's a question of whether Dr. Zeno will be reachable, because he's probably pretty zonked.
I'm sure he's been getting plenty of rest, so he's probably good to go now.
All right. So I'll make that call. I don't know if we have to go through it. How do you feel?
Good evening. You have reached. Is it evening?
It is evening.
Good evening. You have reached Dr. Zeno Saladin. What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm glad you're awake. I was afraid I'd get Theo.
He woke me up about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, well, excellent timing. Does the ether tell you anything about the current whereabouts of Silas Patterson?
Let me consult my crystal ball. Nope, nothing.
Nothing.
It's
yeah.
completely blank when I try to focus in on Silas Patterson.
Well, maybe that's because it can't reach through the ocean depths for him. Long's
Blue.
it was blue before he died, I assume. Anyway, it's apparently a suicide. He threw himself into the sea.
Oh dear.
Which means that presumably the police are going to be investigating his place in town and his place in the country, but probably not until tomorrow. Do you have any feeling about how that affects our inquiry?
Has the body been recovered?
I believe not. It's just a note. A note, an empty car.
Well, then it certainly is possible that he's faked his death. Perhaps he's running from someone.
Well, again, he was seen driving south, but yeah, maybe he did something very clever, and we'll find him in his country home.
So I guess the question would be is whether we try to determine whether Silas had a motive to kill himself or Silas had a motive to fake his own death. How it will affect, I don't know.
Well, I think Dr. Long and I were of like mind in considering that we would see how tightly locked Patterson's country house is.
A little, well, let's not call it for what it is, breaking and entering, but yes.
Those are harsh words.
Our intentions are good, so we're not robbing the man.
Yeah. We're trying to uncover the truth about a man who died prematurely, in fact, at his own request. All right, so how can you be ready for a trip out of town in 20 minutes, if that's what the group concurs?
Oh, tonight. Yes, of course.
Very good. All right, I'll be in touch again if we're moving ahead. Thank you.
All right.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Theo, get my stuff ready. My emergency kit.
So where is Professor Zebedee and Cornelius?
Apparently in the same place.
We are probably together, having a cup of tea.
Yes.
And a biscuit.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little past dinner time. So it's probably, 8 o'clock.
Wonderful. Well, I wonder what the rest are up to. Maybe turn in early this evening, and I think we're meeting the group in the morning.
Yes. Actually, it might do us some good if we try to get an earlier night.
Excellent. They know where we're staying, right? At the hotel?
Yes.
Or
Aren't you guys residents?
We live
yes.
in our own homes.
We live in our flat.
But are you sure you're okay?
I'm having the flat painted right now. It's the fumes.
I forgot you live in that flat.
Lovely.
I always offer you a spare room in my house. But,
Thank you. All right, so we'll I guess retire to our abodes.
And we can assume that everyone has exchanged phone numbers, so you can
yes.
reach each other in your homes.
Definitely.
So if they're not at Cuthbert's house. I'll eventually reach Cordova's
Oh, yes.
phone number.
Yeah.
Dear God, are you serious, Dr. Long?
Yes. That's apparently they think it's a suicide. The car was left by the ocean. They left a note. He was he packed light.
How much do you trust this man of yours?
Bennings, I have no reason not to. He's a good man.
Then time's a wasting. There's too many deaths occurring. This is not right.
Myron proposes paying a visit to to his properties before the police have a chance to.
I wholeheartedly concur, especially if there's something nefarious afoot. We must get to that house and see what might be the reason or the cause or the kernel of this tragedy. Is Myron on his way?
No, I'll contact him to finalize the details and he has the car. So
yeah, I suggest we leave as soon as possible. I'll be ready within the hour.
Please be ready sooner than that.
Is everyone getting together first, or are all 5 of you getting together and then you're going to hatch a plan and then execute?
Well, I assume Cuthbert rang me, which I would then reply, Cuthbert, what? He's dead and you want to go into his property? Count me in.
Time's a wasting. We must be on top of this before whoever is trying to get... Oh, this isn't good. We've got to find out. Come hell or high water.
All right, so let's fast forward to the point where all 5 of you have come together so you can make your plans on how you want to approach this issue.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Saladin?
Shall we assume that I've bought my car, which is probably larger than the rest of them, and
Certainly.
just gone, in the most direct route to pick each one up? All right. So we're finally convened in front of the house that's farthest from mine. I'm guessing that's Dr. Saladin's.
Certainly.
Yes. Thank you for picking me up.
So we need to get to Silas's home. This does not seem right. There's too many people turning up dead.
Yeah, my thought was that we would try his recently purchased farmhouse north of town. The police might already be monitoring his flat here, looking into it once they got a wire about his suicide.
Well, how recent is this suicide? Is this hot off the press, or is this?
It's not even in the press.
Then we should jump on his local place ASAP. I'll be more than happy to do that.
All right, we can go there first and see whether there's a police car outside.
Yeah, and we can always just have like a couple of us go in, maybe, so we don't endanger the entire group. If that's a fear.
Was Silas living on campus before he retired?
What was the question?
Silas, when did Silas leave Brown?
Earlier this year, as far as you know.
So he's got a new place in town, presumably, as well as his country home? Or do we only have one address for him, which is this farmhouse?
You have 2 addresses. You have he has a home, a single family home in Providence, and an address, a small farm outside of town, north of town.
All right. So
it may be possible for us to visit both of them.
I think so. Very quickly.
I also think we have very little to worry about from the police, even if they catch us there and ask us questions. We're friends. We're trying to find out why we can't imagine that he would ever commit suicide.
Precisely.
And he's been acting pretty strangely since the death of his friend. We've caught him kind of skulking around funeral homes.
Right. So we have our excuses.
We just came by to check on him, and then he didn't answer the door, and we were concerned.
Exactly.
All right.
And hopefully it'll all be dark and we'll just break in and look around and see what we can.
Why would he even lock it up if he was going to throw himself into the sea?
A lot of people in the country don't lock up anything.
Workshop. Yeah, that's what I like about the country house. But we'll try a city place first.
Not to be too paranoid, but maybe we should use gloves, perhaps.
For what purpose?
Just so we're not.
Just don't pilfer anything.
Well, exactly. I don't want us to go in and sort of look like a break-in, and then our prints are everywhere.
All right. Well, if they catch us breaking in, they don't need our prints.
Oh, exactly. But if we leave and it looks like, anyway, all right.
Well, let's try to keep the ransacking to a minimum.
Exactly.
Oh, I really wanted to ransack the entire place.
All right.
So, a 10-minute drive?
Yes, very short. So as you pull up, you're able to easily look up Silas's home address in Providence, and it is a small little bungalow style home. And you've seen homes like this, throughout your entire lives, so really small. It's like a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath kind of thing. And this particular one looks like it's a single story, but as you walk up to the place, you can see the foundation's elevated a little bit, and there's a few of those super narrow basement windows, so there's a basement for this building. The driveway is empty. There's a detached little shed as a garage, more towards the back. Tiny little gardens, both up in front and behind the house. The neighbors are, the neighbor homes are super close. And as that it's only, about 8:30, maybe 8:40, you can see each of those homes still have lights on. And because it's May, it's still, fairly daylight. I mean, sun is getting close to setting. It'll probably be, it's below the treetops now, but there's still daylight, in the sky, and it'll probably start to getting into dusk here within the next half hour.
All right, the neighbors are probably all listening to Fibber McGee and Molly at this point, and maybe the Shadow. But we don't want to make a big scene. I'm going to idle on the street at first. I recommend that 2 of us, and maybe not Dr. Saladin, who's a little conspicuous looking.
But I'm wearing my cloak of midnight.
It's
I'll go up with Cornelius. We're both members of the Tuesday Night Academy.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, very good. And I think it might behoove you to try the back door first. There's probably a kitchen around the back.
Brilliant idea.
You say it's a farmhouse, so is it really close to anyone else?
You're in town. This is the Providence location.
Oh, okay. I thought we went to the farmhouse.
Farmhouse will be.
This is the Providence residence.
We're stopping here first because we're worried by the time we get back, the police will.
All right. Yes, I'll stay.
Okay. So you're parked street side or in the driveway?
Street side.
Okay. Street side parking, and 2 of you get out, Long and Cuthbert, and you head up to the front door or walk around to the back door.
I'll go straight to the back door.
He'll go through the back. I'll go up to the front door and make the motion of knocking.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So Long, you get up to the front door. There's a couple flanking windows. Curtains are drawn. It looks dark inside. You knock on the door. There's no response.
Is it locked?
You try the doorknob, and it is locked.
Okay.
Cuthbert, it takes a couple of minutes, not long. I mean, a few seconds, takes less than a minute. And you get around to the backside, same thing. You kind of go up a couple of small steps. There's no back porch or anything, so you just kind of walk up steps that go right to a door. And again, you can see there's a small window off to the side, tiny little curtains on it, dark inside. And you knock, no answer. You try the knob, it's locked.
I look around at the windows. Anything ajar, maybe for a little fresh air? You need
Ooh,
a side window.
Give me a luck roll.
Certainly. Boom. Is that going to work? 40. Yep, that's spot on. It's not spot on. It's 44 out of 68. So
The window right
success.
there. Yep, the window right there next to you with the tiny little lacy curtains is ajar. It's open.
Excellent. I do like a little casual look over. Like no one's looking. I'll just hop on it, lift it, and
Okay.
hop in.
All right. It's a little bit up off the ground. Give me a climb roll to get in, please.
Certainly. What is my climb? Oh, it's regular. That's not very good. Well, hopefully this will just detain me in climbing up and not going to break my ankle. Oh, yeah, that's a fail.
Okay.
Okay.
You are successful in climbing in. You are successful in climbing in, but it takes you a little longer to do it than you think it should. Plus, it's really noisy as you're climbing in over the kitchen sink. And as you're trying to get some good handholds and stuff, you accidentally clatter some dishes. And Long, on the front porch, as you kind of knocked on the door, you're trying the doorknob, you suddenly hear a clatter of dishes breaking, kind of echoing through the neighborhood, and sends a little bit of a chill up your spine. Like, oh boy, there's some commotion, but it doesn't last long. And yeah,
I'll respond by knocking again. Even like
could I use my stealth to try to limit the crash?
Yes, you may. Give me a stealth roll.
Perfect. Okay. 38 out of 60. So there's a nice.
Great. All right. Yeah, you smother that sound real quick, and your feet finally slip in, and you are in the house. It's like I said, it's a small little 2-bedroom bungalow. And so you're in the kitchen, and
yes.
there's a short little hallway off to one side that leads to a couple of bedrooms. And if you go straight ahead, you can go to the front of the house where the living room is.
Okay. So I just sort of call out into the house, not screaming, but Silas, you said you were going to leave the back door unlocked so I could return these books to you. Thanks. So as I'm saying that, I'm walking to the front door to let Dr. Long in.
Okay. And you are able to easily unlatch the door and open it for Long.
All right.
Doesn't look like anyone's here.
Inside. All right. Let's be quick about this.
Yes.
Each of you, give me a spot hidden, please.
Oh, darn it. Now that I'm in. Oh, no, that's a 60, not a 90.
Okay, 23 is a hard success.
Ooh, regular success. 60 out of it.
Do remember to tick your skills if you make them successfully without having to spend luck roll or spend luck points. So with each of you being successful, and you're in the front living room, you smell the scent of burned paper coming from the fireplace, and you can see the fireplace is still smoldering.
Uh-oh. Wow, this is recent.
God damn it. What did he burn? I'm going to go poking through the ashes looking for anything that might have survived.
Okay.
While Long does that, I'm going to kind of fade out of the room and start looking around. If this is really recent, there might be somebody in this house.
Okay. You can give me a spot hidden, Cornelius, and Long, also give me a spot hidden as you poke through the fireplace, please.
01.
Jeez.
Wow.
What a way to use an 01, looking through some ashes.
Exactly. So you are able to get in there, and you are able to pull out of the fire an official looking document, and it looks like it's a rental agreement with an address that being of this area, being a New Englander, and especially one who has a little bit more travel experience in this area, Providence and Arkham and all this stuff, you recognize this address as being what you would consider kind of in the boonies, farm country, just north of Providence. So you have a rental agreement with that, but it's pretty much burned up. There is enough of an address remaining. But you also find in the fireplace something you think is quite strange is this bottle, and it's got some weird staining on the bottle, and as you kind of wipe it away clean with your thumb, it is some kind of commercial hair dye, and it's in a color of a medium gray. It's a medium gray hair dye. Give me an idea roll, if you would, please.
Somebody who's going to kill themselves doesn't go through the trouble to dye their hair before they do it.
Cornelius, how was your spot hidden?
Standard success.
So you are probing the house not only with your eyes, but you're probing it with your ears, as you're kind of trying to pierce through the darkness, and you're quite confident that you and Dr. Long are alone in the house.
All right.
How was your idea roll?
Close enough that I'm tempted to spend luck for it, but I think I'm going to let it go.
Okay.
76. So looking at this, this hair dye, so strange that he used it and then tried to burn it.
And you can see, maybe the bottle came inside of a cardboard box, so that box is all burned up, and part of the label was burned up on this bottle, but enough of it survived that you were able to, figure that out.
So this is well, he was in a hurry. He didn't bother too much to try to just burn the stuff and go. But yeah, to dye, if he was the one here who dyed his hair, that doesn't make any sense that you dye your hair and then go to kill yourself.
And if he was in a hurry, he might have forgotten something that might have been important here. I'll look for an office or a study of his.
Okay. So you kind of walk through the house. You find one bedroom that was clearly used as his bedroom. And the other room is also a bedroom, but it looks very neat, tidy, pretty much empty. Looks like it was probably used as a guest room. So here on the ground floor, I mean, it's only a one-story ranch house with a basement. Here on this floor, you don't see any evidence of an office. You just see the two bedrooms, and there's a lavatory and kitchen, the living room, and then there's a door in the kitchen that goes down to the basement.
Okay, Long, I'll check his bedroom.
Okay.
Since I love going into basements, all by myself, I'll check in the basement.
Okay.
There's no glazed ham in the kitchen with biscuits, is there?
There is not.
Okay.
So as Long is heading for the basement and you're heading for the bedroom, the camera moves outside to the gentleman in the car. Are you guys doing anything in particular while you wait for your companions who are inside the house?
Well, I was relieved to see when Long got in, and I'm keeping an eye on the neighbors. I don't remember how much I heard about the trip to the funeral home.
Oh,
is that something I should be filled in on?
It is rather up to Zeno if he wishes to share. It's more of a personal dilemma that he really went there.
Myron, you're a New Englander, yes? You've lived
Born
here
and bred.
most. There have always been legends of things that live beneath the ground, things that mothers tell their children to, I don't know, terrify them or keep them, usually to keep them safe from going into places that they shouldn't go. The legends of the things that live under the ground, the gargoyles, the ghouls, if you will, goes back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And I would have never believed them at all if it hadn't been for a rather nasty happenstance that occurred to me. I was in Arkham, Massachusetts, in a northern part of the city. There was a rather lovely little cemetery that I enjoyed spending some time in, and one evening there was something there that I didn't expect. And what I saw was a kind of a half dog-like monster sitting on a grave, reading a book, and it was so disconcerting to my mind. I don't know if something snapped, but it smiled at me and waved, and I ran for my life. And I've never been able to go into cemeteries since. I'm telling you that that funeral director was one of those things. Not quite as bad as the one that I saw, maybe not as old as the one that I saw, but the way he moved, the way he sounded, the way he smelled, I would know. I would know it. I can never forget it.
It would
That
explain a few things as well.
Professor Cordova, you met this embalmer, right?
Yes.
This is the same fellow
before-
that Cuthbert tried to confuse.
Yes, but the problem is, I kind of, if it is true what Zeno's saying, it makes sense because they are meant to be of. It kind of fits in a little bit because
What-
we
what-
know that Silas was reading into cannibalism and these ghouls or gargoyles in the legends are known.
the legends say that it's a human that has eaten human flesh, a cannibal, that they
So you're
become
saying
these
it's an
things.
occupational hazard for funeral directors.
If they're eating the dead,
Yeah.
yes.
And then there's the little girl who was cremated a bit earlier
Or
than
was
expected.
she?
Exactly. And then there's our
So
dear
we've got
friend.
irregularities at the funeral home,
So the
at the very
backstory, yeah.
least. And
Very
and
irregular.
Silas had some kind of interaction with this person. How long would you say they've been in there now?
They've probably been in there about 10 minutes. You've been having this conversation in the car. And Myron, because you said that you were keeping your eye on the neighbors, I'm going to award you this without a roll. You look up and you do see one of the next door neighbor homes. You can see in the front picture window, there's an older woman looking out at y'all's car. And she seems to just kind of be standing there and thinking, and then she walks away from the window.
It's probably a more expensive car than is usually idling on the street as well. Cordova, do you want to go in and check on the fellow's progress? I think we should probably be away from here another 5 minutes or so.
Yes, I will go tell them they have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you're getting out of the car, the camera gets there before you as we return to the gentleman in the house. Cornelius, you are in the master bedroom. What are you doing? Searching around, looking around?
Yeah, I'm searching around. I'm trying to be quick, but I don't want to be just rushing over things. Maybe say give it, a good 6-7 minutes of searching.
All right,
but
give me a
not
spot
like
hidden.
19. That is a hard. Spot hidden's an 80, so 40. That's 15. No, that's 16. Oh no, okay, it's not extreme. Should I pull extreme? Hard's pretty good. I'm gonna rest on the hard.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great result. So you are looking around, and there are still personal belongings in this house. You still find personal belongings, clothing and whatnot in the dressers, but you look at these dressers, and you're going through the drawers, and then you go through the drawers again, and it strikes you as you're seeing that he was a fairly neat and orderly person, and he's got things rolled and folded and stacked, and it's in a fairly nice presentation and handy for personal use. But you notice that there seems to be some voids in some of these things, like this stack is full, and this stack, but this stack, this one, there's a void here, and there's a similar volume of void in the socks and underwear drawer, and in the shirt drawer, and in the pants, and same, there's a couple, most of the clothing is on hangers, maybe some suit coats and stuff, but there's a couple of hangers that are hanging there empty.
Yeah. So
and on the floor of the closet, there's a couple of like these red woven heavy duty fibers that you kind of pick up off the ground, and they're just laying there on the floor of the closet. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that you notice and find in the master bedroom. So Dr. Long, you work down to the basement, and you I would have asked you, did I ask you for a spot hidden in the basement?
Not in the basement.
Okay, I meant to do that, so please do a spot hidden in the basement.
65 is not a pass.
Okay, so the basement is not set up as a livable space, so it's not like he would probably come down here on a daily basis. It's got concrete floor, and it's pretty rough. It's an unfinished, kind of fairly rough basement down here. But you don't really, nothing seems to jump out at you as you come down here. You're just like, I don't know, it's a dark kind of, storage basement.
Anything with the Tuesday Night Academy logo, like insignia or whatever on it?
You don't see nothing jumped out at you down here. So as you kind of finish your walk around in the basement, just kind of going, I don't know, nothing seems to be down here. You can hear the front door opens, and Cuthbert, you hear the same thing. The front door has opened.
I go dead silent and stop moving.
Yeah. Oh, I've grabbed a couple of those red fibers, just tucked them in my pocket. I want to.
Okay.
Just for later.
Sure.
Completely quiet.
Well, even turn on the light in the basement.
Cuthbert. As I'm looking for Cuthbert.
Am I hearing that?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay, so I'll I'll call out gently to Zeb. Zeb, I'm upstairs. I'm coming right down. So I'll
There's not an upstairs. You're just down the hall.
Oh yeah. Well, it's many steps.
How did you get up there?
Did you just fly? Did you fly? What the hell?
Sorry, I got it's the fumes from the painting of my flat back across town. Anyway, I think Long's downstairs. We're wrapping up, just taking a quick look. It looks like Silas is headed out. He collected clothes, burnt papers. Anyway, we'll discuss this more out in the car.
Yes.
Long, are you okay down?
Yeah, I'm coming.
All right, we'll just head out.
Yeah. So as you guys are kind of gathering in the house, an older gentleman comes out of the neighbor home, out of the next door house, and the woman that Myron saw through the window, she stays up, on the porch in the door frame of her home, but her husband has come down off the porch and has approached the car and is lightly rapping on the window just outside of where Dr. Saladin is sitting.
You're muted, Tom.
Yes, because the window, even though he did the sign, the window is still up.
I roll down I make noise this time as I roll down the window. Good evening.
Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
We are doing just fine, thank you.
Yeah, are you lost? Is there going to help you with any directions, or is there something that I can help you with?
No.
Evening, sir. Very kind of you to stop out. Actually, we're your next door neighbor, the professor.
Yes.
As you can see, my passenger is also an academic. And we had to drop by and pick up a bunch of papers. Your professor's going on a leave of absence, and he forgot all kinds of paperwork. And so we had to do a nighttime run out and do him a favor, but we'll be, on our way shortly.
Oh, all right. Will he be gone long?
He's taking a sabbatical, so it could be quite a while.
Well, all right. Well, have a pleasant evening. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Before you go, you seem very pleased about that. Are you not a fan of Mr. Peterson?
Not for me to be rude, but yes, my wife and I think we've had our fill of Mr. Peterson, and him taking a sabbatical I think that's a grand idea. So,
would you mind elaborating? We know. I mean, some of us know him better than others. I know them least at all, but he supposedly has some odd habits.
Odd habits. Yes, I guess. Yeah, that's certainly a way to put it. No, my wife and I, honestly, he's just he's just an awful neighbor. I'm gonna just put it out there and be blunt. He's an awful neighbor and quite unpleasant to be around. For several years, this is a very quiet street. It's a lovely place to live. We've raised our children here.
It's lovely. It's true.
It's a very upstanding, very proud and quiet street. That is until Peterson moved in. And for several years, there have been times on numerous occasions that there have just been horrific sounds of squawking animals in there. It was terrifying, really. It was awful. And there have been several occasions where I have had to put my foot down and call for the police. But of course, there's never anything for them to find, and then the noises are all have been terminated. So if it takes me calling the police for him to pipe down and be respectful, well then I am more than happy to oblige. But if he's going to be taking a sabbatical, so be it. We can simply have our quiet neighborhood returned to us. I thank you
wouldn't be
very
surprised
much.
if the house was up for sale soon. So, yeah, rest assured, I think the neighborhood's going to quiet down a lot.
You have certainly brightened my evening, so thank you, gentlemen. I greatly appreciate it.
You said animal noises. What, like horses or dogs or
No, it was
elephants?
No, nothing so exotic. It was just different cries or screams. It was just awful. I don't know what those noises were from, but well, they on occasion he would bring primates home from Brown, and it was not the proper place for a wild animal like that to be kept.
Oh, indeed,
So,
yeah. Well, thank you.
We'll be riddance
gone
as far as I'm
shortly.
concerned.
We'll be gone shortly.
Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate the information, and I hope he has a very nice long sabbatical.
You and the missus have a nice quiet night.
You have my thanks. Good evening, sirs. And he turns and returns to his wife. Gentlemen, you guys are exiting the home?
Yep.
All right.
Ignorantly not carrying a stack of papers, but
They don't care.
So fill in everybody on what we discovered.
Okay.
So before I drive away, you locked the door behind you, I assume?
Oh yeah, tidied up.
Yeah.
Closed the window again.
Before we leave, when you were inside, did you see any evidence of animals? Cages? No.
Not that we looked in
I didn't
the...
see anything of the sort.
I'm going to
He
just
might have
drive
moved
around the next corner so we can stop and have the conversation, but
Okay.
by the neighbors.
All right. Yeah. So you pull ahead to the next block and turn the corner and pull over.
If he was doing odd experiments on animals, he would have had to have done them somewhere. Did you check the basements?
I checked the basement. There's something down there. However, he must have moved all that stuff, if he was still practicing it, to his farm property. That's the reason for him to buy it.
That's exactly it.
If his neighbors wouldn't let him continue it here, he needed somewhere else to do it. And I don't know about you, but I don't know who would go through the trouble of dyeing their hair and purging all their documents that then kill themselves.
Well, if he dyed his hair, he obviously has faked his death. He's hiding.
You mentioned the hair dye bottle and the color?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gray.
Okay. So with that, then I'll let the other 4 people make idea rolls at the mention of the gray hair dye.
Ooh, 12. That's an extreme.
No.
I'm glad other people's brains are working.
Well,
I've got a regular only.
I have my own theories.
So those who had the successful idea rolls, it strikes you when Dr. Long is talking about the color of a medium gray that you would probably say that the graying of the temples that Silas has in his own hair, you would probably call that a medium gray.
Right. Well, how old is Silas? Do we know? I mean, if I would say that he's probably dyed the rest of his hair gray in order to pass as someone else, who passes as an older gentleman.
He was studying the various forms of cannibalism, which is some of the legends go to keep you rejuvenated. Is he trying to make himself?
Trying to make himself age.
Trying to make himself look the same age.
Look
himself
an
look older
appropriate
all the
age.
time.
Except that he's obviously faked his own death.
Yeah.
So if you're going to fake your own death and you're not aging, then why wouldn't you want to look early? Well, wait. What if?
Long, that deed fragment, does it have the date that he rented or bought this place?
Well, it just has the address of some place that he rented from. I don't know what he rented or what the company is, but it's some kind of rental agreement and an address.
Is this the same as the farmhouse we knew about?
It's close. It's close to where the farmhouse is. It's somewhere out in the countryside, but I don't know. We can go to the address as well and see what it is.
We should discuss this on the way there, because with time is a ticking here.
Yes, perhaps observe from a distance and see if there's a gray-haired man walking about.
If anybody's flagging, there's a boot. In the boot, there's a couple of thermoses of coffee I set up before I head out. But I do think that we need to be concerned that we are going to find Patterson after all at his country house. I don't know why you'd bother to destroy evidence and dye your hair if you were to throw yourself in the Atlantic.
Right, and even if the hair dyeing is for whatever strange reason to maintain that gray in his hair for, I don't know, some kind of mature look, it still wouldn't make sense why he'd still be actively dyeing it if he's about to go throw himself into the ocean.
If I was going to throw myself into the sea, I think hair dye would be low on my list of concerns.
Yeah, especially in the days before your death, and the ashes were still warm. Like he burned it early. Like he must have burned it before he left.
He's still alive. Something is very fishy.
Or at least he didn't plan to kill himself. That doesn't mean he's alive.
Well, there's the note.
Or somebody else killed him and left a note to pretend that it was him.
Yeah. Either way, he was definitely a man who had intentions that he wanted to hide.
My guess is he's impostoring himself. He's pretending to be someone else. He's faked his death. Maybe he has somebody's after him.
Another thing, we are driving now north from Providence toward the other address we had for him.
Okay.
If he's friends with your undertaker, who maybe
a ghoul,
is not a mystical monster, but is a sick person that makes use of the dead bodies he has access to. And Patterson had this obsession with cannibalism, and the neighbors think he was killing monkeys in his basement. There's stuff he's got to be ashamed of. And you're right that if he's got some sort of terrible menagerie out in the country, nobody could hear the animals. We need to find out what sickness he left Brown because of as well, and lock that down. But probably can't do that till Monday.
Yeah, if you could, as you said, to expedite that meeting with the Englehart.
Right. Yeah, I can get the board later on Englehart. I don't know why he was messing you around.
And thank you, Myron, for this fine coffee that you had in the booth.
Yeah, I'll take a mug when we have a break. It's gonna. How long is the drive gonna be?
It's gonna probably be about almost an hour. About 45, 50 minutes to drive out there. And so the homes get further and further apart as the sky is darkening, and so eventually you find yourself on a lonely road with it's just a county numbered road, and it's gravel, and you guys are pulling down this long gravel road, you get off the main road and you're pulling up towards a house. Everyone can make a spot hidden.
It might be all this strange poetry I've been reading of late, but something about this place makes my hair stand on end. 96. I'm too busy jabbering on about.
And 85. I'm too busy listening to you.
67.
88.
I'm worried about scratching my paint.
I got a 14.
All right. Dr. Saladin. Everyone else is kind of lost in their own thoughts. They're maybe in small conversation groups. The sound of the tires crunching on gravel kind of fills your ears. And but Dr. Saladin, as you're kind of looking ahead towards the house, just as you're kind of coming around a bend, there's trees everywhere, so that now the house is in view. Just as the house comes into view, and apparently nobody else noticed it, but you saw it, a shape moved in front of a window where there was light, and then the light doused and went out.
There's somebody there. I saw somebody cross the window and turn off the light.
Brake, headlights off. And we're listening to crickets.
Looking in the
he may be
direction
here
that
after all.
Saladin indicated.
Yes, that window there.
So the home, this is an old farmhouse. You can see it's a one-story ranch home, and back behind it, kind of towering up behind it, you can see an old barn not too far away behind it. But that barn, it looks like it's doing an impersonation of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? This barn is shifted way over into one direction, and it looks really, really just in super bad shape. The farmhouse proper, which is, like I said, it's just a one-story ranch, it also does not look to be in the best condition. It's one of those things where like corners are looking really soft, like the building is sagging in certain areas. The building has a cedar shake roof, but it has had so many years of weathering, of rain and whatnot, that green moss is growing all over the roof, and there's large kudzu vines, kind of encompassing one corner of the house and creeping up onto the roof as well. So yeah, I mean, it looks like nature is actively trying to reclaim this building, and almost as if the kudzu is trying to tear down the building. So as you're looking at the face of the house, you can see there is an attached garage off to the left, and the house proper, right in front of you, door is centrally located with some windows flanking on either side. Dr. Saladin, it was the window that's on the left that is positioned between the attached garage and the front door. That's the one that was illuminated, and you saw a shadow of a person moving, and then the light went out. And it was more of like a yellowing flicker kind of a light, as opposed
Candle.
to something.
I don't think they have electricity. I think it was a candle.
Are
Could
there
it be a
electric wires?
Say that again.
Are there electric lines to the house?
There are no electric wires to the house.
Telephone line?
Not that you can see. You don't
And
see any poles or any wiring of any sort.
Are we on the driveway of the gravel, or is this a road that passes the house?
It's a driveway, and the gravel driveway is quite long, and it curves. So from your position, you cannot see the county road that's quite a ways
Th-
back.
And they can't mistake us for anything but interlopers. We couldn't just have been driving by.
Yeah, there's no way anyone would accidentally get this far up the gravel drive.
Is there a smoking chimney or stovepipe?
There is a small chimney pipe, but there's no smoke that you can see. It's dark. It's night out.
Yeah.
Could it be a squatter, perhaps?
But could be.
No,
There's. Oh, sorry.
No, please.
There's no signs of vehicles or anything like that parked around by the barn or out back the garage. Anything outside?
Do you guys get out of the car? You guys are still in the car, as far as I know.
Yeah, we're still we're sitting in a dark car, looking suspicious and nervous, and listening for the approach of an axe murdering maniac. But the attached garage door is closed.
The garage door is closed, but also you can tell the garage door probably doesn't work very well, as it looks like it's cantilevered a bit.
All right. Yeah, I think there's nothing for it but to approach as a group with the friendliest possible facade,
Yeah,
and prepared to defend ourselves in case something's really wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it could be Silas. I don't see a car, and he left his behind if he is still alive.
Yeah, an accomplice, or as you say, a squatter.
Should maybe a couple of us, the sneakier of us, say go to the back, and then the three go?
I'd rather we all stay together.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we want to present, don't we, as
Reputable.
a civilized group of people who are concerned about a rumor about a death, right?
Yeah, and if he starts skulking around start sneaking around in the dark, it's a
Well,
Everybody seems to shoot us.
does Silas know any of us?
Oh yeah, I mean we've
So
Dr. Long and myself, we've part of the same.
He'd probably
do we
recognize
have-
me.
do we have what you would consider a genuine concern to come out here and see if Silas is here?
I think we do.
And
We
how
had
do
a lot of questions for Mr. Patterson before his supposed death.
So this is startling news for us. So we're concerned, colleagues.
and would we naturally know about the farmhouse?
it doesn't matter if it's Silas, then we ask him what the hell's going on. If it's not him, then I don't know who else would be out here.
All right.
Yeah. We could always say that Silas told us of this in conversation, or an anonymous note.
Unless it's Silas.
Well, let's go find out, shall we?
Yeah, I think we should. Keeper, what's the likelihood that I have a flashlight in the trunk of my vehicle in May of 1927?
I'll let you have a luck roll.
I should certainly. Oh, 32. That's good. Yes. And I should certainly have a tire iron.
Absolutely.
So I'll, unless somebody has a better idea.
No, sometimes being straightforward is the way to go. Just walk up and ask.
I think Cuthbert, as a recent colleague and a member of Tuesday Night, perhaps you should be the face of our little group with the flashlight. If anybody makes sense here, it's you.
Yeah. Dr. Long as well, being part of the same club and having some interaction before. And again, we've got very good reason to be here.
Yeah.
We're
Is this
concerned.
tire iron the cross kind or the long thin kind, I wonder?
What would you like it to be?
The long thin kind I could put up my sleeve.
There you go. That's what it is.
Very good.
So
All right,
all
gentlemen.
five of you get out of the car and approach the front door.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone may attempt a listen roll.
Ooh, 01. Wow, that's 2 01s in the game.
Oof. My 44 is not a pass, so
I think it's my 90.
Anybody else? Zebedee? Saladin? No. So as you guys, as the group of you are approaching the front door, Cuthbert, you hear something that at first you think might just be the wind, or maybe it's the wind going through trees, or maybe it's birds or something. But then you realize, no, that's not a bird, and kind of a little bit distant, you hear the sound of like these like whoo, 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 ah, 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 whoo, ah,
Like,
whoo,
like
whoo, whoo.
monkeys, chimpanzees, sort of.
Yeah, that's that kind of, and it sounds like multiple voices.
Like
You kind of hear that.
within the house or outside?
Yeah, it seems far away, so it doesn't seem like it's emanating from the house. But I don't know. It seems like it's coming from sort of that direction, but not from the house.
Okay, well, I relay this immediately to our group. Vague direction. There's like primate sounds coming out there. I'm sure of it.
Sounds like a dog to me.
Primates, monkeys, apes. This is so very strange.
well, this is what we kind of feared he was up to, right?
Oh,
His study of the practice of people eating monkeys, their brains.
what if he has found some manner to extend his life, and he has to keep dyeing his hair to pretend to age? It sounds insane, but it's what wizards and alchemists have been looking for thousands of years.
You're right, it does sound insane.
It does sound insane.
What condition is the porch in, Keeper?
Sagging. That floor of the porch has definitely seen better days.
I wonder if we should circle the house first, even as friendly emissaries. Does the gravel extend around in any way?
Yeah, so the gravel kind of, the drive comes up, and then it kind of, the gravel is like the width of the house, for if multiple cars wanted to pull up, or maybe you could do like a 3-point turnaround, without having to pull into grass. But it doesn't go around the house. It just kind of, the gravel's up to the front of the house. So you'd be walking in grass to go around the house. Shit, I'm just knocking shit around in my house. Talking with my hands.
Maybe a couple stay at the front in case someone answers at the front, and then the rest of us just go back. Maybe someone didn't hear us up here.
My concern with all of us going around the back is, what if whoever's in there does something to the vehicle?
Yeah, but if a couple of us stay up front, they can, one, answer the door, or be there if the door is answered, plus they'll be right next to the car, while the other three could, or something like that.
Although actually, I think the car stopped as soon as we saw the light go off, so it's got a little bit of distance from the house, as I am picturing things.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't pull right up to the house, but you're close enough to where you can see the car from the house.
Okay.
Well, we've been standing here for an awful long time, and they haven't tried to kill us yet. So,
all right, they might be looking for a smaller group. What if you're up for it, Cuthbert? Test out the porch and see if it'll even hold your weight.
Certainly, I will go. I will go gently up.
Okay. Yeah, so you step up onto the porch, and you can feel the boards kind of sagging a bit under your weight, and you can hear the creaking. But they seem to be holding pretty well. As you go up to the front door, what do you do?
Damn good coffee, Myron. Okay. I will go and I will rap on the door.
All right. Give me a luck roll.
46, and I'm still at 68. So yeah, that's a pass.
Okay. Yeah, there's no answer. Yeah, you're knocking on the door and you can feel the floorboards kind of, sag a bit more. But everything seems to be fine. No answer.
Okay. Do the windows to the left or right look like they're in a state of disrepair, like they might be easily openable, or can I peer in at least?
Sure. Yeah. You want to peer into the one that Saladin said was lit and then went dark?
Sure. Yeah, that seems like a good place to start.
All right. Yeah, you look inside. You'll have to press your face to it, and because the windows are absolutely filthy. But as you kind of peer in, you can see that the room is very sparsely furnished, and that the room that you're looking in right now has a single round table in it. With
And a chair
it
at
looks like there's 2 chairs.
Anything on the table?
Not that you can tell. It's dark inside. You're just getting a shadowy suggestion of a table and a couple of chairs. Everything else in the room, though, looks very dark.
Do you see anything?
Just a table, a couple chairs, dark room.
Is it locked?
Is it?
Is the door locked?
No.
Oh my. Then well, I knocked, so I'll just sort of open the door slowly and say, hello, Silas?
As he does that, I'm going to walk through the grass or gravel to grass to the other window, the right window, and try to peer in. It can't be too far off the ground.
No, it's not. It's easy for you to look in that one. Because also you can see that this house seems to be sitting on a slab, so it doesn't look like this building has a basement. So you go and look into that one, and that one also looks quite dark, and it as far as you can tell, it looks empty. What's everybody else doing?
Oh,
so Cornelius is heading into the house. Myron went and was looking through one window off to the right. What's everyone else doing?
I'll follow Cornelius into the house. Is there dust all over everything?
First, give me a luck roll.
88. Wait, what's my luck? No.
So as you get up on the porch and you're walking towards the door, you crash through the sagging boards. You only fall about 13, 14 inches, but it's enough to kind of startle you. And give me a luck roll from that, please.
12 on that one.
Okay.
How
not.
loud was it?
I mean, it was pretty loud, although it's not the sound of dry wood snapping, but it was loud because he shouted out as he dropped, the 12, 14 inches suddenly. But you succeeded in not hurting yourself. You just startled yourself. Yeah.
Goddamn fucking porch. I can't understand why this porch is in such bad condition.
Zebedee, what are you doing? And Long?
I am recovering from how loud Zeno was right there, and then I'm staying outside. I will keep an eye on anything if I see it. Like while they're in there, I feel like there needs to be someone staying out here. So
Okay,
I will
Long.
stay out here.
I will follow into the house.
Find
Okay.
the hole.
Yep. Give me a luck roll.
Mind the gap. Ooh, 40. That's good.
All right. Yeah, and Zebedee, you can. I mean, not Zebedee. Zeno, you can easily kind of step your way out. It was not very far. It was just more startling than anything. So Zeno and Long, they catch up to Cornelius in the what looks to be like the living room of the house, centrally located within this ranch. Fairly small. There's like one wooden chair in here with a tiny little side table next to it. There's a fireplace in here that is cold. There's the fire is not lit. And there's a couple of doors. There's actually several doors leading out of this centrally located room.
Is there anything in the fireplace? Pieces of wood?
Yeah, it does look like there's some old wood in there.
Okay, so you say old wood. I was going to ask if there's dust on it. Which means
Yeah,
nobody's lived in a while.
the room has dust and it's filthy, and there's it looks like there's pathways of disturbance, like people have walked through here.
But nobody's lit the fireplace in a long time because the wood has dust on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wood has mostly ash on it, but it hasn't been lit recently.
Okay. Nobody's lit a fire in here for a while.
Well, they know here. I just want to like, hello,
Silas.
Silas. If that's you, we just want to talk.
We know
If
you
it's
faked,
not you, if it's not you, Silas, we don't mean in any trouble.
we know you faked your death. We're not going to tell anyone.
The three of you inside the house can give me a listen roll each.
Oh, is that a pass?
17. That's a
pass.
hard success.
I've got so much stuff on my ears.
Turns out when I'm not blabbering on about nonsense, I can hear things. And so-
Long, you hear the sound of wood slapping against wood.
Where?
It's coming from your left, through a doorway on your left.
I open it.
Okay. You go through that doorway and it comes into the kitchen, and the kitchen is absolutely atrocious. But there's also a back door, and it's got a back door, and it's also got a screen door, and the back door is standing wide open, but the screen door is moving and flapping and slapping against the house.
They made a run for it. I'll go hurry and try to see where they went off to.
Is Cornelius, or you and Zeno going with Long through the kitchen?
My initial intent was to go straight through the house to the back door upon going in. But I don't know.
And there's the back door in the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah,
So
that's
we're-
where I was headed towards.
Okay, so while you guys are doing that, the camera goes back outside to the front. And so Zebedee was going to be just kind of watching the car and kind of watching the house in general, right? What was Myron going to be doing after kind of peering through one window? We'll call it the north end of the house, and seeing what looks like an empty room.
As soon as Long went in after the stepping around the doctor's hole, I was going to continue. I believe it's counterclockwise. So I had gone from the right window to the door. I was going to go around that corner
Okay.
and maybe peer through windows where they weren't obstructed on my way to the back.
Okay. Yeah. So as you go around, and it is counterclockwise, correct? So you're going counterclockwise around the house, kind of looping up over the north end of the house, because you were on the east side. And the first window you get to looks into the same empty room that you were looking in a second ago. But the second window, it looks into another room, and it looks like this one has, again, it's dark in there. So, you're having to use like moonlight and your own adjusted night vision. But it looks like there might be a small bed in this other back room. as you continue to work your way around. Myron, give me a spot hidden with a bonus die. Not Myron. I apologize. Zebedee. I'm moving the camera back to Zebedee now. Zebedee, give me a spot hidden with a bonus die.
That's just a normal pass.
Okay, so you're kind of standing outside, and my imagination is that you're kind of looking, and then you kind of pace around a little bit and look over here and check on the car, look at the car, and pace around, and you're kind of moving around a little bit. But as you kind of turn back around to after looking at the car to make sure it's fine, and you turn back around to kind of face the house proper. The garage that's at the south end of the house, and it's got a cantilevered garage door. It's just kind of barely hanging on there. And so there's almost like a triangular gap that you might be able to like slip through. So just as you turned around, you see what looked like someone's rear end as they were finishing their movement to get into the garage, as if maybe they had come around from the south end, of the house, and just kind of tried to slip in and get into the garage, but they weren't quite quick enough. As you saw their little derriere going in. Not bare naked, they're clothed, but you just saw someone as they're like, going in.
Is Myron in view, or is he?
Myron is already past the north end of the house as he's working his way counterclockwise around.
I assume I have some form of light source, so I will go. I'm not going to go in. I'm just going to look through the triangular a bit closer, see if I can see in there a bit clearer.
Okay.
So I know someone's in there now. I just want to see what's actually, if there's any hiding areas. I don't want to go in, so I probably won't get the best view, because I could just get jumped if I went in, so I'm not stupid.
Okay. So as you're kind of cautiously, slowly approaching the garage door, does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay. So yeah, as you're cautiously and slowly approaching the garage door, suddenly the thing, you hear it, because it's maybe like a sheet metal type of garage door, and you can hear it kind of warble once, twice, and then finally, kind of with a heft, it poorly flips up, and you see Silas holding on to a scooter as he's kind of running this thing forward, and you can hear the engine choking as it's going as he's trying to get it started. So with the sound of the garage door, that metal garage door going up, that is something that nobody would be able to not hear, as Long and Cornelius and Saladin exit out of the back of the house. So you're in the backyard proper, and you kind of look to the north, and you recognize, even in the darkness with the moonlight kind of shining on him, you recognize Myron as he's come around from the north end of the house. You can see the dilapidated barn back there behind you. And from that dilapidated barn, you hear the of primates kind of echoing out of the dilapidated barn. It sounds much more prominent now that you're on the back side of the house. But as you guys came into the back side of the house, you hear that metal garage door being lifted, and then you can hear a small engine, almost sounds like a lawnmower engine, but you can hear a small engine kind of as it's trying to choke to life.
Quickly, before he gets away.
Yep. Off we go towards the garage then.
I'm going to tackle him. I'm going to try to tackle him off. Or at least subdue him.
I'll be sprinting on over.
I
Yeah.
was in the war, so I am used to doing similar.
Yes, but doesn't the noise frighten you?
Oh, fuck, yes. I wouldn't be able to move. I would not be able
Oh.
to move because of that noise.
Yeah, give
I
me,
think-
you know, that metal garage door going up like that, it would have been startling. So give me a sand roll for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to move.
Due to your loud noises.
That's a good point. I can't move. I am completely frozen.
Well, let's see if you fail the sand roll.
I succeeded this time though.
Okay. So while it was startling, it only startled you for a heartbeat. So I'm going to penalize you initiative. So you won't get to do anything basically this round. So I'm going to take one free round, and then we can go into initiative. So I'm going to try and get this damn motor to start. Okay. So you can see Silas, as you're looking at him, you can see that this little motorbike, it's a little scooter, if you were aware of such things, it's an auto glide scooter. But this little scooter is trying to come to life. And let's see what happens.
The primate sound. We're coming.
The primate sounds are coming from the dilapidated barn. And Silas is trying to escape with this scooter, and he's got like a carpet bag kind of, you know, belted to the back side of this scooter. Oh. All right. So the engine comes to life. And Silas is going to try and jump on this thing as he goes. So initiative, that was his action for this round. So what is your dex, Professor Zebedee?
45.
What is it?
45.
45.
Yeah, 45.
Okay. So Silas, you know, he like looks at you, and he gets on the scooter, and in a not a very dramatic fashion, it just starts going, and he starts going on the gravel, and he starts driving away on this scooter as fast as it can go. You know, right now it's maybe 10-15 miles per hour, right? So and the other gentleman, what do you do on your initiative?
Quick, he's getting away.
Is there any like branches or brush, just like lumber or anything like that piled up near the house that we could maybe chuck out into the road to make him have to swerve to miss it? Or
there are some old gardening tools.
I'll grab one as I'm running and sort of heave it like 10 feet in front of him or whatever. So it might make him spin out or.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you a shot with that. You'll have to give me a throw roll.
All right, here we go. This is what it's all about. My amazing throw of 20. Okay, 36. No, I failed.
Okay. Your throw is a what?
A 20. I rolled 36.
I mean, that's only 16 over. I don't know.
Come on, we gotta catch him.
Oh yeah.
Bend that
Oh,
line.
definitely.
What I would like to do is, rather than run towards him or away from him, I'm going to try to intercept him. And as he's coming at me, I'm going to use my cane to hook him and pull him off the bike.
Oh, wow. All right. First, give me a dexterity test.
Okay. I got 60 out of 60.
All right, not too shabby. You are able to intercept him with that dexterity test. Give me a brawl roll. He is going to try and basically dodge that.
Where's Brawl? Oh, there it is. If I spend 5 points, I can make it. On a regular, that'll just be a regular.
Okay.
I'll spend the 5 points.
All right. Your regular success is better than my failed dodge. So you reach out with this cane and you kind of hook him, and you do exactly what you wanted to do. And he kind of goes, yoink backwards off of this scooter, and it keeps going for about another 10, 15 feet, and then, topples over on its side. And you splash Silas right onto his back into some soft gravel. Crunch. Oh,
sorry, old man. Or should I say not old man? And I go hover over him until the other people get here.
Okay. You guys have Silas surrounded.
I'll help him up. After all, I did knock him down.
What is the meaning of your car incident back there with the note?
Look, it's none of your business. I'm leaving town. I've got money problems.
Well, this just isn't none of our business. It's highly illegal to fake such a thing. What's going on? We could help you, maybe. For goodness sakes, we're part of the same organization.
You guys all notice that Silas's hair is all dark. It's all a dark, almost black color.
So it's not gray.
It's not gray.
How is crow's feet?
He doesn't have crow's feet.
Yeah, he's looking young and healthy.
Pretty young, yeah.
But
his clothes are a mess, I assume.
Say that again.
His clothes are a mess.
They are a mess now. Yes, he's just been knocked to the ground.
But that house is so filthy. Like, does he look like he's recently muddied or has been living in squalor?
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's been living in that house first. It looks like if anybody stays there, they only stay for, a few hours, maybe overnight, but it doesn't look like anybody stays long term there.
Is he clean shaven?
He is still clean shaven.
Thank you. Patterson, it's not any of our business, but it is sort of generally society's business. I've got to call a zoo to come and try to figure out what to do with the primates you've been abusing in that barn. And yeah, faking your own death is about 6 crimes. I don't know why you thought you'd get away with something like this, but I'm ashamed of you on behalf of the university you formerly worked for.
What are you guys going to do with me? You can't keep me. You can't hold me.
Oh, we can take you back.
I'm sure even this county has some kind of law enforcement.
Didn't we have questions for him? Wasn't that what was more important here?
Look, what was your business with the funeral director?
The ghoul.
And you can see that Silas is getting freaked out at this line of questioning.
Especially when I said the ghoul.
Look, and we read the papers that were in Baxter's office about the cannibalistic practices of monkeys. What
and Aborigines.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Stop it! Leave me alone! And he's backing away from you guys, holding his head.
Well, if we're surrounding him,
yeah.
If you want us to leave you alone, tell us what the devil is going on.
leave me alone. It's none of your business. It's just let me live. Let me live.
Baxter
Nobody's-
didn't live.
We're
And
not
then-
going to kill you.
At the mention of Baxter's name, he stiffens. He goes, "I didn't know." And then you can just see his eyes roll up into his head, and he falls to the ground.
Deal. What is he?
What on earth? First aid.
Yep, his body is convulsing, and he's foaming at the mouth.
I fail my first aid.
Oh, I'm really good at first aid. That's like that's part of my. Would that be pushed if I'm trying it as well?
Yes. Yep, it's a push if you want to do it.
It's really pretty good. I think nothing can go wrong here. 02 out of 65. Out of 65, mind you.
Nice. Okay. Well done. You can see that you sense that he's going into a grand mal seizure, and you are able to prevent him from further hurting himself
Or
through any kind of choking, and eventually his body relaxes enough, but he's basically completely out of it. His eyes are not reacting to direct light, and he's just kind of drooling and just making nonsense noises. He's just kind of
We need to get him somewhere where we can clean him up, and but we need to also be able to restrain him.
Yeah, I'm afraid that we're compelled at this point, gentlemen, and this is something we should discuss openly. Legally and ethically, we should turn this man over to the authorities, but we won't ever speak to him again if we do. I think it's a matter of how we can make sure he doesn't do us any harm in the drive back to Providence, and take and care for him as best we can until we learn what he can tell us.
He seems to be really frightened. He was saying, "Please don't kill me." I mean, my God, we're colleagues. Why would he jump to such a conclusion?
Well,
It was me who mentioned Baxter, but did he say, "Please don't kill me" to me, or was it to the crowd?
You said
or
I
to-
didn't know when you mentioned Baxter.
the don't kill me seem to be kind of in general,
Right.
but with Myron's mention of Baxter, there was an eye contact between Silas and Myron as he says, "I didn't know," and that was the last eye contact he had, because that's when his eyes rolled up into his head.
I'm
Well, I
going to
wonder
look in
what's-
his carpet bag.
Okay.
well, while you do that, I've got to go see what the state of those animals are.
Idea.
Yeah, I'll come with you, but we have to make sure that this guy doesn't wake up and just speed off into the night. I think he would rather throw himself into the ocean than deal with what he's done.
Perhaps Cuthbert and
Yeah.
Cordova.
I'll stay here with Silas.
Well,
with
then
you.
I'm not leaving. I'm just
Yeah.
looking through the
Sure.
carpet bag.
Yeah,
So the carpet bag, which the carpet bag seems to be made up of reddish fibers.
Oh, okay.
And so the carpet bag, it contains clothing, some spare changes of clothing, and it also contains a leather wrap that, when you undo the wrap and unroll it, a rather unusual collection of blades, of different knives and cutting instruments. They look pseudo surgical in nature, but they also look primitive,
Ceremonial.
maybe even ceremonial. Yeah. So they're cutting instruments. They're knives of some sort, but they don't all have just single edge blade or double edge blade. Some of them have, like, it might be a weird prong. Some looks like it might have some kind of screw capability. Some have like a hook or some sort on it. A bladed hook. All kinds of strange instruments.
I'll wrap these back up and then I will put them in a pocket inside my robe.
There's also a 32 revolver.
I'll take that.
There's a 32 revolver tucked in there. Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of
He's got a gun. And I show them.
While he is down, while Silas is sort of recovering, I sort of check him for weapons, since Zeno's discovering weapons of sorts.
Yeah, there were none on his body. They were all in the bag.
Okay.
So somebody's going to the barn. Who's going to the barn?
Dr. Long and I.
Okay. And is anybody else checking? Zebedee, what are you doing? Saladin and Cuthbert are staying with Silas.
I am also staying with them, but kind of just worrying about around us rather than...
Okay. So you see, the garage door is now up, and it's, at a weird angle, but you can see in the garage door, or in the garage, there's a strange table that's kind of tipped over onto one side.
I can trust Cuthbert's got this, so I will go up to it.
The table is circular. It looks like it has a mechanism on it to where, sort of almost like a leafing mechanism, so the table can be opened. Okay. And in the center of the table is a hole. So even if the table is closed, there's still a hole in the table, and kind of nailed and mounted to the table itself, both above the hole and also more extensively on the underside of the table, there seems to be several like leather strapping mechanisms. So they're anchored to the table, so it looks like, if something was through the hole, it could be tightened and held firmly in place by these leather bands. And even on the underside of the table, there's even more leather bands in several places under the table, as if to secure things under the table. And the table, kind of hard to see in the light and everything, but there's definitely a dark stain on the table itself. Give me a medicine or science biology if you have either of those.
Looks like medicine at 1% will have to go. $42.
What is your idea? What's your idea of value?
I have 17. In ints, so yeah.
You have a 17 int?
70.
Oh, 70. And that was almost half of that. I mean, you get a sense that it's biological, probably blood, but hard to tell. Maybe it's due to the light. Maybe it's just because of the excitement, and that sound of that metal door opening was quite atrocious. Myron and Frederick, you guys go into the dilapidated barn, and you see that there's 4 fairly large, probably 4 foot by 4 foot metal cages, and they're stacked too high side by side, so it makes a 4x4 grid, and in each of these cages is a primate, is a chimpanzee.
Oh.
And they look malnourished.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're in the best shape.
So I think Frederick still got the flashlight from my car. Is there anything like food in here we can give these things before I call the authorities?
It does look like there's some bags of dog food.
Oh, Jesus. You know, I'm going to start scooping that out and tossing it into these poor bastards. You know, if you ask me, Dr. Long, it shows you how far gone this guy is, that he thinks he's going to become something more than human by eating on things that he's starving and torturing.
Yeah,
like he's eating brains that are nothing but suffering.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, I was thinking of all those the meetings with the Tuesday Night Academy where they sat across from this guy.
Yeah, but the fact that he was lecturing at Brown within the last year is revolting. I wonder if a zoo could even keep these poor specimens alive, or if we should put them out of their misery.
I mean, zoology is not my field of expertise, but I'm leaning kind of towards that second option.
We can ask the other eggheads, I guess, if they have an opinion. I mean, I want to make it quick, and I don't know. I can't even tell what's a male and what's a female with these things. I know they can tear a human's arm off if they're angry enough, so he's got some kind of control over him. Also, this explains why he's broke. You can't be buying these legally. Sickening. I'd like to set the whole place on fire, but not, until they're somewhere else. At least we didn't find any half-eaten ones, which is what I was afraid of.
I was worried about that too. Surgery in progress.
I'm trying to think. I don't have any food in the car. I'm going to see if there's any food in the house that's more...
Is there a well or something, or a water pump? I guess something to drink.
It's got to be a water pump.
Yeah, there's a water pump. You guys can get them cleanish water, and the house is bare. There's no ice box. There's no power. And certainly no ice is brought out here. So there's no food. So yeah, you're able to feed them the dog food and get them some water.
Yeah, I think the dog food and the monkeys are the only foodstuffs for the house.
So you guys are able to kind of go through the house. It's basically empty, and you have Silas. He is catatonic. You have his carpet bag. You have his little scooter, and you found the table. What do you guys want to do?
Is there a phone in the house?
No phone.
We could place an anonymous call to a local vet to place a complaint of lots of animal primate sounds coming from this property. So they'd come out and be alerted. But this way we could continue keeping Silas through his convalescence and then question him. But we should humanely have these animals looked after as soon as possible. I don't think we should kill them. It's up to vets or a zoo to make that sort of call. That's just my 2 cents.
What do you guys want to do with Silas?
I think.
Well, if we
have to take the man to a hospital. I say we take him to a hospital. We call the authorities and have them put security on the man. find out what the hell is going on. And then if you want to call some vet and tell him to come out here and take care of these animals. I'm not sure we need to do anything anonymously, but
I'm not even sure that there's a way to do anything anonymously.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we wanted to convalesce Silas ourselves, but if we're going to, we don't have to do anything anonymously if we're going to bring him to a hospital.
It's a tempting idea. The thing is that then we take on responsibility if something bad happens to him. We go to jail if he dies.
Yeah, precisely. And
he's had an epileptic fit.
Yeah.
We didn't encounter any epilepsy medicine or anything like that, did we?
No.
His bag.
No, you did not. No medications of any sort.
I have a gun. Perhaps Cuthbert, you can take that.
Oh, certainly. Thank you.
You're more familiar with handling guns. I just have a Derringer.
A little bit.
He needs an asylum. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
He's lost his mind.
My only concern is whether we'll lose access to whatever is still in his fractured brain once he's locked up.
Probably going to be incarcerated, don't you imagine?
Yeah, I think he will be.
In which case, perhaps
I'm sure the back garden is full of chimp bodies that are half decayed.
Well, then perhaps we can simply wait and to visit him in the. Well, possibly he'll be put into an asylum. We can visit him and ask him.
How long would that be, though?
This is the question that we have. We have a responsibility of one kind or another to Philip Baxter. The way Silas went down shows that he knows something about Baxter that we do not.
Jeez.
Right? He's been keeping secrets to the point that he's willing to fake his own death, to hide out here in this moldy house and eat monkey brains until they drive him mad, or rather madder. So anyway, the question is, do we accept responsibility for him illegally, or do we turn him over to the authorities and lose access to whatever the hell he knows in his cracked head?
Well, like I said, we don't necessarily lose access. It just gets delayed. Perhaps we can work with the police.
And none of us are direct relatives. We're not that close. So once he goes into custody, our access to him will be very limited. It might be incredibly limited, especially if the police start investigating why we were here. We might become some sort of twisted suspect.
I mean, given that most of us are pretty responsible members of society, I don't think this Podunk County sheriff or whatever is going to be more concerned about why we were visiting the former professor than why he was keeping a secret monkey house. But he could also wake up and seem really reasonable and talk his way out of at least immediate incarceration, and then we got nothing. He's going to go on the run again. Oh, I guess we know he's faked his own death. That's something.
Yeah.
Who drove him south, or who drove his car south? Did that person have gray hair?
Yeah. Who's that body?
Accomplice. There's no body, but there's.
Right. Somebody else might have dyed their hair to look like him and drove away.
Yeah, we got some problems. I say we.
You're right. I mean, we have to know what he knows.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to tie him up in his own, long johns, and take him back to the city, at least while we figure out what to do with him. And then as soon as we find a service station where we can report these poor monkeys, then we'll call it in.
I mean, practically speaking, if he had a grand mal seizure, we need to get him cleaned up, or at least have the hospital clean him up, because he's filthy at this point.
Good thing he brought a change of clothes.
Well, I'm not suggesting we hose him off, but let's get him somewhere where they can care for him.
Yeah.
Epilepsy is a dangerous thing. At least we saved his life.
That's right. I mean, if we take him, he might never become lucid again without the right medical care. It almost forces us to turn him in.
Yeah, we have to. It's. I mean, he's not a horrible monster. He's a human.
Well,
he's a monster to a certain degree, but he's still a human. He's still he needs help. He needs medical attention. We can't provide it.
He's definitely ill in more than one way.
Yeah.
So the group moves to bring him to the nearest hospital.
I think so.
So you take him back to. So you are just outside of the village of Lincoln, which is north of Providence. There's no hospital here, so really, hospital you would go back to Providence.
We could take him to a local doctor. What time is it?
I mean, it's late now. By the time you get there, it's probably closing in on 10 p.m.
Yeah, we'd have to call ahead, but I'd say just take him to the hospital.
Yeah, local hospital, whatever's closest.
Cuthbert, you're in your personal opinion, he's stable, right? After your attention.
I completely believe that he is.
He's at least outside of danger of choking on his own tongue.
Let's monitor him and make sure that he doesn't attack us suddenly.
Yeah, all right. So Cuthbert, you'll be in the back seat with the patient.
Certainly.
We can bind his feet and hands with his socks or long johns or whatever.
Yeah, that'll be good.
You could use the seat belt. Oh, wait.
What?
What's that? A seat? What now? A seat?
Maybe Saladin can see the future.
That would be so restraining to be tied to the chair in my car.
That's an affront on my constitutional freedoms.
Go live on an Indian reservation.
Let it be noted. I think we should have just locked the nut up in my basement for a week, but I will let cooler heads prevail. I didn't. You didn't smell that monkey barn. Jesus Christ.
Pretty horrible.
All right. So you guys drive Silas. They get adjoined rooms. You drive.
We're turning them both into the asylum. Whoops.
I get the scooter.
You drive Silas back to the hospital where he is accepted and turned in, and will get greater care. And so we will draw this chapter to a close. Well done, gentlemen.
Right.
This episode, not this chapter.
No one died.
Nope. Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Stuart Lively, Josh Harwood, David Gassaway, and myself with John Hook as the Keeper of the Secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with our other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer art of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows, free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd also like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 to a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good game.